possibly go wrong? I'm going to drive north in a snowstorm. That's exactly what I need. Seclusion. Hello, welcome back to the Gentleman Psychic. Make certain to hit the like and subscribe button and ring that notification bell so that you can be among the first to receive updates on videos like this and many others. So first of all, I want to apologize, my darlings, for not being more active. I have been in the middle of a move. I moved from Pasadena, California, all the way to the other side of the country. I am now in upstate New York, and it is cold, it is snowing, and it is beautiful, and I truly am much happier than I was before. We can go into that a little bit more, but right now, I wanted to talk about something that, on my way here, I was reminded of the tranquility. I went through the snow, and I went through a little rain, and I went through a little ice, and I was in pursuit of quiet, peace and quiet, because I need to work on some things for myself. I need to work on things for myself, and this is giving me the opportunity to do so. Now, I was reminded, though, of Stephen King's classic novel, The Shining. So in the book, those of you who have read it, you are familiar of the fact that in that story, there's a family that travel to Colorado, to the Overlook Hotel. It's this based on the Stanley Hotel in Colorado, but it's this beautiful turn of the century seasonal hotel. Now, the father figure is going there because he's writing a book, and he needs to be quiet. He needs to have that resolution. He needs to be able to focus on what he is set to do. The thing is that the hotel is haunted, dreadfully haunted, delightfully haunted. But even more than that, the little boy, Danny, he possesses something that is called the Shining. And he, of course, meets another fellow who works there in the hotel. And the maintenance man says, "You're a cannon. A lot of people are gunfire. You're a cannon." So together they sort of awaken the long dormant spirits that reside in this hotel. And unfortunately for the family, it causes the father figure to lose touch with reality. And of course, then the isolation and the snow and the spirits get to him, and who knows what is real anymore. Well, I'm not really going to go too much into Stephen King's universe. I'm not going to talk about fan theory. I'm not going to talk really about the book, but that was my inspiration for today's topic. Because I got to thinking, what is The Shining? The Shining, as it was described by Stephen King, is a person that has psychic, clairvoyant abilities and is able to communicate with the dead. Now, in that instance, you may remember, he had the little finger and red rum and the whole gambit, right? Well, this little boy in the story was able to awaken these spirits just by his very presence. Those energies would sense him and they would feed off of it. But I grew up very lucky. I grew up, as you may or may not know, in the confines of the Pentecostal movement. Now, Pentecostals don't believe in psychics and mediums, and witchcraft is absolutely forbidden. However, they do have people that they call prophets, prophetesses, and they will see into the future, and they will profess things, and they will oftentimes say, well, I can't communicate to your dead relative, but the Spirit of God has told me that this is what they would have said or what they would have done. And I'm just going through the Spirit of God. Now, for me growing up as a weird little kid, I saw things and my family was mostly okay. There was a time, however, I was in my mid-20s when I told my mother, I said, Mother, it's so funny sometimes how you can see someone on the street screaming at someone that is not there, and people go, oh, that person is crazy. But I said, sometimes I see people that I'm quite certain other people don't see. And my mother said, oh, don't say that. People will think you're crazy. I said, Mother, they already think I'm crazy, so what am I going to do? Now, again, I was really lucky because that was the extent of the rebuke of being able to talk to the dead and knowing things. However, some people are not quite as fortuitous as I was. Some people were raised in households where they were told, no, that's stupid, that's crazy, that's weird, you can't, no, people will laugh at you, no, this isn't true, no, this isn't right, and this is the only way, And what happens oftentimes in those situations is the person will internally struggle to figure out what is real and what is not real, and it puts the child in a really awkward, strange position. Now, it's really funny because the same people who oftentimes will say to their child, your imaginary friend is not real, will tell their child, look what Santa brought you. Does it happen that way? Or is it real? Yes, Virginia, there is a Santa Claus, so to speak. It is the spirit of things. So my advice to you, I'm not a parent, but relating to the way that I grew up, I'm so grateful that my mother and my father accepted me for who I was. They loved who I am. They were proud of the weirdness. And for you, as an adult, it can be really perplexing sometimes to have the shining, we all possess it to a certain degree. We'll think of someone and they'll call us, or we will go, oh, I'm going to go over here, or oh, I'm going to wait a little bit longer at the stoplight, only to find that someone has ran a stoplight. So you're shining. What is the shining? Mm-hmm. Well, it's I would say it's sort of like it's kind of like a silver, like not a silver plate, but actual silver. When silver is in its natural form, it's sort of a gray color, and it isn't reflective, and it isn't shiny, and it's sort of rough. But how do you make it? You have to melt it, and then you have to hammer it, and then you have to buff it. So you have to go through those processes to make it shine. As a psychic, as a medium, we all have innate qualities. We all have those potentialities to achieve that. But even as an adult, how do we develop that? We have to go through the refinement. We have to go through the hammering. We have to go through the polishing. Polishing your skills is through meditation, through sometimes abstinence of whatever it may be, fasting sometimes. It is through intense focus. Some people go into yoga and that really helps them to develop their skills. Some people it's more tactile. I will be offering some ideas a little bit later on. I've got some classes that I'll be teaching. Anyway, whatever it is, let your shine shine. And now here's a word from my friend the devil and Asmodeus.
Lucky little devil, the whole world is That's why I'm so blue. Lucky little devil.
Come and play with us, Danny, forever and ever. Come and play with us forever and ever.
Thank you so much. Thank you to all of my patrons, and a special thanks to my top-tier patrons, Dee Lasaro, Mary Jane King, and Lauren Morgan Richards. Thank you, all of you, for all of your continued support of this channel. And if you would like to join them, you can find me on patreon.com/thegentlemanpsychic. You can find me on thegentlemanpsychic.com if you would like to book a reading. I am doing specials right now for you, and I also you can find me on Facebook under The Gentleman Psychic, and on Instagram. You don't want to miss that. Also look for The Gentleman's Parlor, where I have things that I am actually selling. So if you'd like something a little bit more tangible, I have things that are going up on there. They'll be a little bit more regular as we go throughout the next couple of weeks. Anyway, thank you so much, and I appreciate you. If you can't give, I still appreciate you. Thank you for being there for me. I'm without words. Until next time, I'm your host, Richard-Lael Lillard, the Gentleman Psychic.
From you, like I surely do, lucky little devil. I worry more and more over your popularity. How can I picture you getting sweet on me?